Good morning and welcome to the October 22nd through the 28th weekly impact weather briefing for Central North Carolina. I'm Brandon Locklear, senior forecaster at the National Weather Service in Raleigh. We're going to get started. If you follow us on Twitter or Facebook, you've probably already seen this graphic, but it was a chilly start this morning. On the left-hand side, you can see we had a lot of areas that were around freezing. And a few places that even dropped below freezing across the northern Piedmont, basically to the north and to the west of the triangle. That was the first freeze for most of everyone in the area. And as you can see, if you go back and look at our average first freeze climatology, that's right on time. So Mother Nature, she definitely knew it was that time of the year. Going to the next slide. Looking at this week's weather pattern, we're going to see high pressure that's going to be in control through at least the middle part of the week. And with that high pressure, that's going to be dry conditions and temperatures basically fairly seasonable. But as we get into late in the week, you see that area of low pressure over the Gulf of Mexico. That system's going to track to the east-northeast and lift up the mid-Atlantic coast. And with that system, it's going to bring much wetter and cooler conditions to the area. And I'll mention more about the expected rainfall amounts we can see in the next couple of graphics. Because of that high pressure over the area, we are not expecting really any severe thunderstorm potential across the area. And as you look here at the expected rainfall total, as we get into that Thursday and Friday period, with the bulk of that falling on Friday and lingering into Saturday and Sunday, by the time it's all said and done, we could see some places as much as 2 to 4 inches across the area. I know one of the models that we look at is even hitting at the possibility of 5 inches across eastern portions. It's all going to depend on just how closely that area of low pressure tracks along our coast. If it's farther out in the Atlantic, that means less rainfall. If it's closer to the coast, it means more rainfall. So we're closely monitor the potential for heavy rainfall. As you know, we're still very wet. And so, if we were to see some of those higher thresholds verify that 3 to 5 inches, it's possible that could result in some river flooding by the weekend and early next week. So we will closely monitor that. If we look at the tropics, this is good news. It's very quiet. And typically this is what we see this time of year. Tropics start, at least in the Atlantic, start to cool down. But I have to remind you that, the tropical season goes through the end of November. So we still have a month and a half remaining. We're still seeing some controlled but minor flooding along the Roanoke River. And again, as I mentioned, if we see that rainfall of 3 to 5 inches, we definitely could see some new and additional flooding across eastern portions. So we'll monitor that. Looking ahead for the next week, I mentioned how we're going to have mostly below normal temperatures this week, but for the week 2 outlook, right now it looks like we could be basically near average, near normal. But looking at rainfall, still looks like we're going to be in a favored area to see above normal rainfall. All right. And that kind of segues into our next graphic, which is the 2018-2019 winter outlook. And since we last had our Monday briefing, NOAA has released their outlook. And what we're expecting this winter is we're expecting El Nino. And you probably, I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar, but if you're not, what El Nino is basically, El Nino is warmer waters out in the tropical Pacific. And what that does for us, how can something that far away impact our weather, is it can cause a shift or a change in the position and location of the jet stream. And during the week El Nino, we have warmer than normal sea surface temperatures out in the Pacific. And what that does is that will shift the jet stream further south to where we will see or typically see a higher and better chances of seeing more moisture coming towards us out of the Gulf. If you go back and you study all the past weak El Nino events during the winter time, you come up with these composites, and that's what's driving our forecasts for the winter outlook. So we're expecting there to be above normal chances or wetter than normal during the winter. As far as the temperature, because right now we are expecting it to be a weak El Nino, we typically don't see a big impact to temperatures. So it's really equal chances of seeing warmer and cooler than normal temperatures. So right now we're expecting the main impacts to be a wetter than normal winter. If you want to get more details on that, you can follow the link at the bottom of the slide. So in summary, we're looking at temperatures basically today through Wednesday, at or slightly below normal. But then as you get into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, as we get that stream of moisture and rain heading towards us, we're looking at increasingly wet and cooler temperatures. In fact, some of the guidance, especially on Friday, some of the temperature guidance is showing that temperatures may struggle to get out of the 40s underneath all that rainfall and clouds. So a very chilly start when you consider that, or a very chilly end of the week when you consider that our normal high is in the upper 50s to lower 70s. Well, that's going to be it. Appreciate everybody joining us, and we hope everyone has a great week.